So dear students, right now the operating system which you can see on the screen is Ubuntu Linux operating system. In the previous part of this chapter, the previous part video of this chapter, we had studied about the graphical user interface and command line interface. And we had also studied a term shells. Okay. So we will continue just now with the thing. Now how to type the commands. For that you have to open terminal. So there are two ways of opening terminal, as I had explained you in the last video. The first way is applications, and from applications accessories, and from accessories you have to go to terminal. So this type of thing will open. This is known as terminal. I will zoom it little bit. Okay, so this is terminal. Now the terminal which is given in your textbook is of black color. So here you can change the color of the background, you can change the color of the font. These all facilities you get because finally we have opened terminal through GUI only, graphical user interface only, right? Fine. Now the topic which we have to discuss right now is listing the shells available on the system. In the last part video I had told you that there are different shells through which we can interact with the computer. Now if you want to see that how many cells or which cells are there in your computer, then you have to issue a command. I will still zoom a little bit and I will type the command then. Okay, the command used is cat. Okay, then you have to leave space, then slash etc, 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 slash, and then again shells. Now these all things are case sensitive, remember that. So it should exactly, you have to type shells, then it's typed in small, then you have to type in small. So like this way. So you can see that it displays the list of all the shells which are there in this Ubuntu Linux system. Fine. Now next topic is determining the default shell. Now so many shells are there, so how will we come to know that we have to type the commands in which syntax? Syntax means language type of thing. In which syntax have we to type? So we should first know which is the default shell. So how to know the default shell? First I will do that and there I will explain you something more. Echo. Okay. Echo is a command. Echo means what? If I type here echo, SHELL, then it will display me when I press the enter key the name of the shell. But I have made a mistake in typing the command. Echo, I have to type here dollar and then in capital shell. So it will display me that I am working with bash shell. Okay, I'll erase it. So here it shows the output that I am working with which shell? Bash shell. Okay, in the output it is displayed. So like this way you can check, you can determine which is the default shell. But see, this all, as I told you in the last video also, this all things to work with command line was really a headache. Even if I make one small mistake, for example, if I forgot to type here dollar, then it will not work. Here if I type cells in small, shell in small, then it will not work. It is case sensitive. So these all things you have to keep in mind. Now each Ubuntu Linux account is configured with a certain shell as its default command line interface. Means in each Ubuntu system different shells from this list are set as their default shell. Each time you log on, this default shell is utilized for working within the operating system. So whenever you start the terminal, the default shell will be the default shell, means with that you will have to work. Linux operating system comes with certain variables that contain current environment settings as its values, and thus are known as environment variables. I hope you have not understood this sentence. I'll tell you that suppose we are working with bash shell, then the commands which we can type here are all stored in different variables, like that way. Fine.
So now you came to know how to know that which is the default cell which you are using. But in case, suppose if you want to use some other cell, okay, then what to do? So that topic is changing the current cell. If you want to change the cell with which we are working with, then as discussed earlier, we have different cells available with Linux. To change your default cell, type the name of the cell you want to use on the command line. For example, if you want to use the C shell, provided it is available on the system, that means that cell is present in the system, then you can use that cell. Then you have to simply type CSH at a command prompt. Then the command prompt will provide a CSH interface. It's very simple. And one more thing, a cell change is temporary and will last only as long as you are logged into command line. To return to the default cell, type exit command or press Ctrl D at the command prompt of the new shell. Fine. Now the next topic is command syntax. Now what is the meaning of syntax? Now see, whenever you want to learn any new language, you need to learn the grammar of that language, right? The grammar of Gujarati, grammar of English, right? Then you will be able to construct a sentence. In the same way, when you are working with any of the programming language, or when you are working with command line interface, you should know how to type the command, and that thing is known as syntax. Remember the meaning of syntax. The syntax of Linux commands is uniform. It consists of 3 parts in the order specified below. Suppose if you are not able to understand when I am teaching these 3 things, just try to keep your ears open. Just now when I do the thing practically, you will be able to understand it very easily. First thing is name of the command. For example, ls, echo, etc. Then options. It is possible to alter the behavior of the commands by specifying additional options. A command may have 0 or more options. That means it's not compulsory that you have to add the options. It depends. If you want to add the options, you can add the options. Options when present starts with a hyphen symbol and are usually a single letter or a digit. Some commands may have options with double hyphen and or sequence of letters or digits. Depending on the command, the number and the meaning of the options will vary. Next thing which comes is arguments. Along with options, user can also provide arguments. A command may take 0 or more arguments to do its work. The number and the expected meaning of the arguments vary from command to command. Some commands may take no arguments, other may take an exact number, while other commands may take any number of arguments. Linux commands can be classified as internal or external based on whether its binary file exists or not. The commands that have a binary file expectedly stored in either /sbin or /usr/sbin or /usr/bin or /bin or /usr/local/bin directory are called external commands. They are generally executed by the kernel and will generate a process ID at the time of execution. Most of the commands that we use in Linux are external commands. On the other hand, the commands directly executed by the shell are called internal commands. Internal commands do not generate a new process. To know whether a command is internal or external, we can use the type command. The syntax of type command is shown below. After $, type and command. For example, if we want to execute a command, then type info. We will get the output as shown below. Info is /usr/bin/info. As can be observed, this refers to a binary file info stored in /usr/bin. This indicates that info is an external command. Now we come to something interesting. Okay, theoretical part is over here. Issuing general purpose commands. Now practically I will issue different commands and teach you.
Now the next topic is issuing general purpose commands. That is, I will type different commands and we will see the output, that by typing which command we get which output. Now see, as you are now familiar with the syntax of commands, now let us see how to issue those commands through command line interface. Now the best way to start with learning Linux commands is to try working with some general purpose commands, not to go in much depth, but some general purpose commands we will type. So Linux, now you can issue a command by typing a command name followed by the necessary options and arguments. Other way is you can type in few letters of a command and then press the tab key and the shell automatically provides the remaining information. For example, to display a calendar, we can type the command cal. Now this command is used to display the calendar. Okay, now see, as soon as I type the command cal, you can see the output, the calendar is been displayed. Now, just now as I told you or had explained you about the options and arguments. See, at present I have not typed any option or any argument. I have simply typed the command, that is cal, and it displayed me the calendar. Now in calendar, what did it display me? It displayed me the current month's calendar, right? Okay. Now if I want to see the calendar of a specific year, then I have to add an argument or option cal, then 2020. So it will display me the calendar of full year. Okay, so like this way is the adding of different options and argument. Now if I want to view the calendar of a particular month, then cal, for example 12th month of year 2020, then first I have to write the month name and then the year name, and when I press the enter key, it will display me the calendar of December 2020. So I think it's easy for you to learn this basic commands. Now in your textbook, one more thing is given you, and whenever I am teaching this chapter, you please keep your textbook next to you so that you can understand what I am teaching. You pause the video, open your textbook, page number 103. Okay, on page number 103, along with cal command 2013 and pipe sign is added, and then more is added. In the above command, we have concatenated two commands. Concatenation means what? In Excel you have learned how to concatenate two words, right? So to join two words. Here more is also a command which takes input from the calendar command. The pipe symbol used in between the two commands is discussed in detail in the later in this chapter. So just now this command I don't have to teach you, even though it is given in the textbook, okay, but later on if that topic comes, we'll see what to do. Fine. Now more is given. Fine. Now next thing, date command. To display the current date and time, you have to use the date command. All the command are in small letters. Just observe, no capital D, no capital C, right? So as soon as I type the date command, it will display me the present date. I will zoom it a little bit so that you can see the thing clearly. Okay, so this is date command. Now by default, when you issue this command, when you run this command, it displays both the things, that is date and time. Now suppose if you don't want to see the time, you just want to know the date, then what can you do? For that you have to add an option and argument. Date. Now see, the way of adding the option and argument is different everywhere. Here it will come plus and then percentage sign and D, capital D, observe, it is not small d, it is capital D. 1 minute. Okay, you can see here date, then space, and then plus percentage sign and capital D. By issuing this command, only date will be displayed and time will not be displayed. Just see. You can see 11/19/2020, right? Only date is displayed, time is not displayed. Now same way, if I want to see only the time and not the date, then time command is not there, but date only, and plus percentage and capital T, then it will display the current time. So you learned date command and also the options and argument used with it. Now we try to learn the calculator in command line interface, how to make the use of calculator. Now see, in command line you don't get any switches. Here it is virtual. In your mobile phone, when you open calculator, or in your computer when you start calculator, you can see a calculator will be displayed on which different switches and everything is there. But in command line interface there are no switches or nothing. Then how to issue the commands and do the calculations in this thing? So that I am teaching you. The command used to open calculator is BC minus or hyphen L. Remember, BC minus L. The L switch is used to include the standard maths library. Now see, even if you type only BC, calculator will open, no problem. But in calculator, when you want to perform the calculations, you need some mathematical functions. So for that you have to include that thing by minus L. Fine. Now when I press the enter key, just see. Now the calculator has opened. Now as soon as the calculator opened, what happened? That the dollar sign command prompt disappeared. Now if I type any command, it will not work. Just see, if I type here cal or date, see, it is not working. Did you notice? In the last video lecture also I told you that whole line Ubuntu _ Ubuntu $, that is command prompt. Only if that is there, then you can run the different commands. Fine, no issue. Now here, if I want to perform any calculations, it is very simple. For example, I perform 1, 2, 3. I type plus 1 2 3 and I press the enter key. I will get the answer 246. I don't need any switches. Switches are already there on the keyboard, right? So like this way you can make the use of the calculator. In addition to the normal mathematics functions like addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, modulus and exponents, we can also use trigonometric or logarithmic functions like sine, cosine, so many things are there, log, anti-log, these all things. See, I give you an example. For example, if you need to find the natural logarithm of value 213, we use the command L into bracket 2013 and close the brackets. Okay, I have made some mistake and so it's not displaying the result. I will type it again. L, I typed for 2 times by mistake. 2013. I will get the output. Right, so like this way. In command line interface, you can also get the natural logarithm, anti-log, all these things. The ibase function. Now we will see the ibase and obase. Now what is ibase and obase? We are using decimal number system method. Decimal number contains the numbers from 0 to 0 to 9, right? So how many digits are there? 10. Okay. While computer uses which number system? Binary number system. Binary number system contains of only 2 digits, 0 and 1, right? So if you want to convert a binary number into decimal, or if you want to convert a decimal number into binary, okay, then you can use some of the functions which I am going to teach you here using, that is obase and ibase. Now besides decimal and binary, there are other 2 number system also existing in the world. One of the number system is hexadecimal. In hexadecimal, the base is 16. Okay. In standard 10th, I taught you how to create web page and how to fill color in that of your own choice. Then all the colors are represent, the value of the color RGB, red, blue and green, is indicated using hexadecimal code. So if you want to convert a number into decimal into hexadecimal, how to do that I am teaching you right now. So for that I have to mention O means output, base, O base is equal to 16. Okay, O base is equal to 16. That means whatever number I type in decimal form, convert it into hexadecimal, right? Fine. Now I am typing a number. For example, I type a number 256. It gave me the answer 100. Am I right? So the hexadecimal code of 256 is 100. Like this way easily you can find. Now if you want in binary, then output in binary, then O base, you all are intelligent so you will come to know easily. O base is equal to 2. Now whatever number I type again I type 256. So the output is 100000000, right? We take a simple number. If we type 15, answer is 1111, right? So like this way easily you can find out you can convert the decimal number into binary number. Now if you want to convert instead of decimal number, if you want to convert a hexadecimal into binary, then what to do? So for that it's very simple. Instead of O base, you have to use ibase first. That ibase, that is whatever you input, that is ibase is 16. That means you are going to enter a hexadecimal number and you want to convert it into binary. So O base is equal to 2, right? I base is equal to 16, O base is equal to 2. Fine. Now simply you type any number. I will type any hexadecimal number, FFA123. So the binary of FFA123 is 1 1 1, so many ones, then 0 1 1 1. So easily you can convert a hexadecimal number into a binary number. Okay, now there are so many functions given here in Calc. Among them we will do one function, that is square root. If you want to find a square root of any number, then what to do? SQRT. So you have to remember the name of that function, and in that bracket you have to type, for example, if you want to find the square root of 256. Okay, then square root into bracket 256. When you press the enter key, you will get the answer. Okay, I am getting the answer in binary. I don't want in binary, so first I will change the O base. O base is equal to 10. Fine. Now I type the same thing, SQRT 256. So binary is it's showing a mistake. It should be 16. The square root of this thing is 16. Okay, I don't know why it's making mistake. We will solve that mistake later on. Now suppose if you want to type another command, then how to exit the calculator and how to bring the command prompt back. For that you have to press Ctrl D. Remember, Control key, press and hold and press D. So again you will be back in the command prompt. Now that 256 I will check again by opening the Calc, BC minus L, right? Fine. Now I will type here, what shall I type? Square root, SQRT into bracket 256. So answer is 16. Okay, so like this way you can use the calculator. So in this video I am completing the video over here. This many commands I wanted to teach you. We will continue with the same chapter in the next video. Thank you. Goodbye.